she keeps saying these things. Oh, I hope you're getting ready to move out and all these kind of things. But then she'll like make plans for some travel or something. And I'm like, what is going on? It's like two diametrically opposed things. Or she'll make a comment of, oh, well, maybe we should move to Nashville or something. I'm like, 2 days ago, you just mentioned that you want me to move out. I don't understand.
That actually sounds totally normal for what it, so let's talk about this. Let's unfold
Yeah.
this. So the two big things here are, one, family life, family time, dreams of family are completely separate from intimacy with you. Family time, family events, thinking about the future. Let's go on spring break together. Hey, let's move to Nashville. These are dreams, okay, that are completely separate from her feelings about you in an intimate relationship. Completely separate.
How is that possible? I don't, how does not.
Well, play with me here, right? So how do you think that
Okay.
that's possible? Why do you think that that's the case?
I honestly have no idea. I just, men are from Mars, women from Venus, and I'm learning that pretty
I read
hardcore
that
right
book in
now.
like 99, I think. Yeah. So give it a shot. Give it a shot. So you and I know each other a decent amount. You've been on these calls for a while, right? You've been doing work. So give it a shot. Why
Yeah.
do you think that's
I would venture to guess that one is more of her mental or logic version of her idea, and the rest, another one would be more of a heart or spirit kind of vibe of what she's feeling.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
that could be one piece of it. Absolutely. That's more of the, I agree. And that's more of the, when she says, hey, nice game, right? That's an
yeah,
emotional side. That's the spiritual side. That's her just being nice. Nothing to do with her intimacy with you.
right.
Okay. So why do you think it is that a woman might want to keep their family unit, the idea of family, but intimacy is completely separate from that? Why do you think?
I mean, I know that there's an emotional safety component to this for sure. That she doesn't feel comfortable being intimate with me because for whatever's going on in her thought process, there's a loss of emotional safety there with me, so she doesn't feel comfortable opening up. But it's possible her heart yearns for that family unit to still be together. It's possible that both can exist at the same time.
Yeah, let me draw you something. So let's say this is the pie of a woman's feelings of safety, or the opposite of that would be feelings of anxiety, right? And let's say, and this isn't going to be to scale, so for you engineers, just calm down, it's okay. So let's say that this red piece of the pie represents her intimate life, right? What she wants within intimacy. Okay. Now you want that to be with you. Okay, so let's leave it at that for a second. And
are you talking specifically sexual intimacy, or just any kind of closeness intimacy? Are those?
So let's call this sexual intimacy.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And let's say this blue piece of the pie is her feelings of family. Right. I'll just write the word family here.
Okay.
Of family. Okay. And then she has other pieces of the pie too, of course, like her own work identity, her friendships, etc., the hobbies that she does, right? She has these other pieces of her identity, and she wants all of these different pieces of her identity, the pieces of her pie, so she feels fulfilled, so she feels safe. And again, this isn't to scale, right? Some women half of this might be they want sexual intimacy and masculinity around them. Some of them would say it's just a sliver or none.
That's probably her, yeah.
That's what she would say, probably, right?
Yeah.
And some of them, a giant piece of this pie might say be their work or their career. So it depends on how large the pieces of pie are. But the sexual intimacy and the safety that she feels with that, and the desire she feels with that, is separate from what she feels within family and family time. Now, these bleed into each other, especially for a woman. For a man, our brains compartmentalize more instinctually, right? Hunt the buffalo, track the buffalo, kill the buffalo, bring the buffalo home. And for women, it's what are all the children in the tribe doing? Which berries are poisonous, etc., which is hundreds of thousands of years of development. I mean, only over the past, 10,000 years, we've had agriculture, and the last 70 years, we've had modern relationships. So we're still driven by, okay. So these bleed into each other. right? So if family's shit and work is shit and friendships are shit, she's probably not going to feel very good and want to be super intimate, right? So they bleed into each
Got
other, but these are
copy.
completely separate pieces. So would she rather lose, let's say, she doesn't want anything to do with you right now, right? I'm not in love with you, separated in the same house. You've never loved me. You've been an asshole for our entire lives. These feelings that she has. Do you think
Yeah.
she'd rather lose just one piece of the pie, or would she rather feel like she's losing this whole entire half piece of the pie, including the family unit?
Right.
That's what we're talking about. Her feelings of safety and security. So when she says, yeah, let's plan spring break and hey, let's move to this other state, she's dreaming, number one. These aren't literal desires that she's wanting necessarily. It's a dream.
Right.
Right, guys?
Right.
Assume that a woman in your intimate relationship is speaking emotionally. And 99% of the time that's going to be true. So if you just default, so let's go with that first. So you get this, right? She doesn't want to feel like
I
she's
got it.
losing so much at
Losing
first.
all
Okay.
of it.
So why, if you just assumed that let's move to Tennessee was like, let's go to the Tennessee ride in Disney World, what do you think that means?
It means she was just in that moment taking that idea out for a spin. Maybe that was just a fleeting moment thought.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to your, so why is she talking about Tennessee? And why is she saying, hey, nice? She's just being a friend when she's saying, good game.
Everything for her and for us right now, every single component of every conversation, all can be led back to financial issues we're having, result of mostly what happened in the pandemic. It devastated our work and our finances, and we ended up dipping into our savings and all this kind of stuff. So there's so much instability and unsafety that are coming out of that financial strain, that every conversation can be rooted back to that somehow. So her talking about Tennessee is like, well, our money goes further in Tennessee. We can get a nice big house and a yard instead of a little shack.
Okay, good. So pause there. So if
Yeah.
she says, I would look at this movie of Tennessee, like how cool is that?
Yeah.
How fucking awesome is that? What would you say?
6 months ago, I would have probably broken down a spreadsheet and analyzed all the numbers. Now I am more like, cool, that sounds like a great idea. That's fun. Let's look into that, something like that.
Oh, so forget the let's look into that part, because that sounds like actually needing to do something.
Gotcha. Okay, so just entertain the fun of it.
The dream, yes. Just entertain the fun of it. Just entertain the dream of it. Absolutely. And don't 3 days later say, hey, when you brought up Tennessee, I looked up housing costs. And okay, now, if you guys were actually in a good situation, which through your stories, you're not. Let me put it this way. Within the realm of possibility, would you ever consider moving with this woman right now with where the relationship is? Probably not.
Right now, absolutely not.
No way. So you wouldn't even fucking logically consider that. So it's a dream. But if we, different scenario, if things are great and she says, oh, Tennessee, how cool, if your relationship is great, the following weekend, I might, hey, come sit on the couch with me. Let's look at pictures of Tennessee. Let's do like a Google tour of Tennessee for 10 minutes, or look at this documentary on Tennessee that I found. And I might actually play into that more. And, but still it's 99% dream.
And having fun with it. Yeah.
And having fun with it. And then I would still do that again. I mean, if we all hear a move is an absolutely earth-shattering thing. It affects everything in your life. So I would dance my way up the staircase of, I wouldn't just ignore, if I had a good relationship and she says, Tennessee, how great, I wouldn't be like, yeah, cool, and then never bring it up again.
It's becoming more of a realistic thing, I feel like. I mean, she's actually planning trips to go visit friends there, and she's been, talking to them about how much the friends like it there, and to me, it's feeling like it's a little bit further, more developed in her mind than she's expressing.
So what's your fear?
My fear is that she's going to be like, I want to move there with the kids, and I'm going to be like, I don't want to move there with the kids right now, and then there's going to be this kind of battle over, custody, and that's where my.
Sure.
monkey, emergency mind goes to,
Right. I mean, so let's do one more step here. So
okay.
anytime we reach a fear, which that's a very legitimate one, I honor that.
Sure.
The next step is to journal and meditate. I call it blue and yellow. I don't know if anyone's ever heard me talk about this before. I do this with my one-on-one clients. So I call it blue and yellow, and this is adapted from what's called somatic experiencing within therapy work. Somatic experiencing has been studied for about 50 years, something I use within the school system. And okay, so blue and yellow is the simple way I describe it. So yellow is what's best case scenario you can possibly imagine, and blue is what's worst case scenario you can possibly imagine. And so let's call moving to Tennessee and having a fight over custody with the kids is the blue. You can pick what the yellow might be, and you journal about this. So one side is yellow, one side is blue. And the whole point, or you meditate about it, you literally feel what the best case scenario would feel like. And then you literally feel your fear of the worst case scenario, right? The blue is like hell, basically, hell that you can imagine. Okay. And the point of this is that you grow your range of what you are consciously aware that could potentially happen, or you move into the fear. Another way of saying this is move into the fear and on your own with journaling or meditating, and then breathe into it. Like, okay, she moves to Tennessee, right? There's a custody battle over the kids. What do I do? Like my yellow and blue, my blue has been my son like gets shot and killed. My son goes to jail. My son becomes an addict. Like these are, you know what I mean? Like, so if I even pull out of this scenario, here's something every man can do. And I suggest you do this like once a quarter, unless you have a specific scenario that you're facing, which is super fearful, in which case maybe once every couple of weeks, but once every quarter. So 4 times a year, you pick, what do I want to happen in the next 1 year of my life? Let's say like the most amazing dream. And you pick what could be the most hellish thing that I can possibly fucking imagine ever. Like my son dying. And you meditate on the blue and the yellow of that. And the point is, it's like holding 2 weights. You can literally hold 2 different things. And I do this with clients too. You literally hold 2 different things in your hands to give them weight or different feeling.
You're just stretching your emotional range, right? It's like basically stretching a muscle. You're getting
that's right. And then
larger
in your
emotional
meditation
range.
or in your journaling, you metaphorically walk forward on the balance beam of life, and you feel the weight of each of those things as you walk forward, and then you practice breathing, you practice feeling, feeling your feet on the ground and stuff. So that's where you are as far as the fear of that, because that's legit. That's a legitimate fear.